But officer, you got to be kidding. What do you mean that someone is selling crack cocaine in my address? You know, sometimes bad things happen to good people. In fact, I'm a good person. Bad things happen to me all the time. The king of people who has bad things happening to them was a guy by the name of Job. That's J-O-B. Not Job, Job. This guy, his story is in ancient Jewish scrolls in biblical times. And he was a guy who I can tell you the story. I'll give you the short version. God and Satan are having a conversation. And God says, "Have you met my servant Job? He's a righteous man. He fears God, and he shuns evil." And Satan sarcastically said, "Job only serves you because you protect him. You put a hedge of protection around him, and I can't touch him. If you allow me to torment him, he will curse you to your face." And God said, "Do it, only spare his life." All of a sudden, Job's sheep, camels, farm workers, and caretakers are attacked and killed by a bunch of marauders. Then this mighty wind hits Job's oldest son's house, and the roof caves in just when he was entertaining all of his siblings, his brothers and sisters. Everybody died. And if that wasn't bad enough, Job lost use of his body. He came down with these painful boils from head to toe. Job did not sin or curse God. In fact, he said the most famous line ever recorded in human history. "I was naked when I came into the world. I'll be naked when I leave. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed is his name." You know, Job had a happy ending to his story. God was satisfied with the test and how he passed it. And so he said, "Job, I'm going to restore everything that you lost and give you double what you had. I'm going to give you 7 new children to replace the ones that you lost. And mostly I'm going to give you a long life so you can see your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren." In 2008, I kind of felt like Job. It was the subprime mortgage crisis, which caused a global recession. I was on the brink of bankruptcy. My house was in foreclosure. They were going to do a trust deed sale on Christmas Eve of all days. This is what $500,000 of credit card debt looks like when you can't afford to make the minimum payment anymore. I had creditors calling me from 8 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening every single night at my business and at my house. I owned an apartment building that I bought in Nashville, Tennessee. And all of a sudden, half of my tenants weren't paying the rent. And 10 of those were selling cocaine out of their apartments, according to the Nashville Police Department. I couldn't make my mortgage payments. I had to give the apartment building back to the bank, and with it, all of my equity. $750,000 down the drain. I owned another building in Los Angeles. My daughter said she wanted a nice business that she can run with her brand new husband. So I converted it into a coffee shop. Wasn't that nice of me? Well, it worked out pretty good until she caught her husband sleeping with a 17-year-old barista who worked for them. Divorce. And then the business failed. And she didn't want anything to do with the coffee shop anymore. Nobody wanted to do anything with the coffee shop because we were in the middle of a recession. who can afford a $5 cup of coffee back then? Why am I telling you all of this? Because there's some people out there in the audience who are just like me. You're going through the same thing I went through. Maybe it was 2008, maybe it's some other time. And I want to tell you that what God did for me, He answered my prayer, He saved my house, He saved my business, He got me out of debt. Just like He answered Job's prayer, He answered my prayer. And I can help you, introduce you to God, and show you how He can get you out of your debt and your problems and give you a double portion. Thank you very much.